Hello everybody, and welcome to my first video. Today we're going to be sculpting my favorite dinosaur of all time, the T-Rex. The first episode of this long series that I plan on doing in the future is going to be sculpting dinosaurs primarily. Starting off with our reference images, this is not mine, nor do I claim to be this good of an artist. This is from an artist named Scott Hartman, I believe. You can find his work on Google, and he has his own website for all this. This is going to be kind of a laid-back tutorial because obviously this is my first video ever. I wanted to keep it nice and simple. I'll take you guys through what all I do. As you can see, I'm showing my tools. Those are rounded pliers. You can use those for making chainmail art and cool stuff like that. Really helps you out with armature building. These clippers really help as well, especially if you have gigantic spears that appear somehow in your armature. And these are just regular pliers. They help out, obviously, quite a lot. So yeah, this is just very laid back, relaxed. As Bob Ross would say, grab yourself a nice tall glass of iced tea and just watch this video in its entirety. I don't know why I gave him a southern accent. He wasn't southern, but anyway, this is the wire I use. And with all that being said, let us commence. So I like to start off with the head of the armature. I feel like this is probably the hardest part of a sculpt for any character, being an animal or humanoid, beast, creature, whatever have you, because it's supposed to convey the emotion of the character, and you need to get that right, always. I always start with the top view just to get a lay of the land, and that way I have a solid foundation for how the profile needs to look. Usually I copy both sides of the profile, so it's easier to mimic both sides. Oh, look who came to visit. This is my little boy, Aladar. If you recognize the name, you are a true dinosaur fan. From Disney's Dinosaur, the main character is an iguanodon, and he's a bit of a handful. But, as I said, I like to start with the profile. Hey, bud. Okay. Hi. Yes, more scratches. More scratches. Let everybody see ya. You're a beautiful boy. I love yous. But I got to get back. Okay, just gonna put this over here. All right. Put that over there. Thank you, past me. And let's get back to work. Don't worry about the cat hair. There we go. So, with these sculpts, I don't get too terribly anal about how the armature looks, as long as you can build it up properly. What I mean by that is if you can make proportions that suit what you want the character to look like, while also staying within the realm of realism, if that's what you're going for, then you don't really have to worry about how the armature flows. It just needs to be as strong as possible, but at the same time, you should keep it as realistic proportions-wise as possible. Here you can see me fitting the wire within the physical lines of the piece. You want to do that with an armature because the more you compare the wire to the outer line of the reference image you're using, and then when you add the medium to it to make the skin or whatever have you, it's going to look a lot chunkier than what you want, unless that's what you want. But if it's not what you want to keep it as slim and smooth as possible. So going back to the top view, I'm going back and revising the shape of the armature. You can do this if you want. If you're like me and you want to be as precise as possible because I'm just going to say right now, this is a secret project I've wanted to do for years, and I'm finally putting it to the stone. If that's even a saying, please quote me on that. Um, I'm making a fully stop-motion dinosaur documentary. It's going to be like 6 or 7 episodes, similar to what we saw with Walking with Dinosaurs, but I'm putting my own twist on it, following different stories. Um, while at the same time, we're not being as bombastic as Dinosaur Revolution have you, or what have you. But I've always wanted to make a stop-motion documentary about just any prehistoric animal, and giving everybody the knowledge that I've acquired over the years, because I love these animals very much, with a fiery passion. And I also love sculpting and doing stop-motion animation. And I felt like this was a marriage of the three, and it's something that I know and I could do very well. So right here, I'm just refining the shape. You can see Aladar constantly trying to get into the limelight just a little bit, but he's my special boy. We keep him, you know what I mean? And so now we are moving on to the snout. This is somewhat tricky if you don't follow the method that I follow. Or at least it's not tricky to me, because what I basically do is like what you just saw. I take a piece of wire, I cut it, I form it to what the snout looks like on the reference material, and then I take the thinnest wire possible and just wrap it around where the base of the eyebrows meet the base of the snout. And then I just refine, using the clippers, just to get the general shape of the entire skull. And then the next thing that comes in is something that I just learned recently that works, and it works well: super glue and baking soda. I don't know what the technical mumbo jumbo is for the reaction that happens, but the baking soda is actually supposed to help the glue set quicker, and it makes it a much stronger bond to whatever you're gluing. You can buy like spray activators, which I'm sure work really well. I haven't tried them yet. I might do that in a future video, but I've always went with baking soda and super glue. It's just got me out of a lot of situations where I could avoid using masking tape and other clunky stuff like that. And so now we have the armature all glued up and ready to put clay on. Now, like I said, I'm not anal. It's the armature, so it doesn't have to be perfect. It's an organic thing that we're sculpting, so it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. But what's that? No, guys, I'm a sham. I've told you guys, it's a lie. It's a dirty, stinking lie. Please, just get rid of it. Get rid of it. It's fine. It's fine. I know. I'm gonna regret this later. I'm very cringy. Just please pity me. If you like this video, like it, subscribe, leave a comment. If I suck, just tell me I suck. Don't try to sugarcoat it. And so now we get on to the fun part. I usually like to do this because it gives me more detail to work off of, and it just makes it easier for the clay to set on when we make the skin of the animal. I like to make the full-on just the skull itself. I already made the mandible, so that's why I haven't shown that part. Just cover it with whatever kind of clay. I like to stick with clay that looks closest to the color of the bone when it was alive, rather than just using darker colors, because I'm weird like that. Okay, leave me alone. Then when we get done with all of it, If you want to bake it right now, you can. You're more than welcome to. I like to cut the holes in the skull first, just so when I put the skin on, it adds that extra layer of dimension to it, and in my opinion, it adds a lot more authenticity to the sculpt, because not a whole lot of people that I've seen do this sort of technique. I've only seen a few sculptors do this, and they do it really well, I might add. Way better than me. Why are you even watching? If you're watching this, why are you even watching? No, I'm kidding. Please stay. Okay. So now, you just, like I said, cut the holes in the skull, where the eye, the anterorbital fenestra, the nostrils. I can't remember the name of the hole in the back of the head, where the muscles are. But yeah, you cut those holes too, and you have yourself a freaking dinosaur skull. Yeah. So then after this, what I do is I put epoxy putty into where the anterorbital fenestra are, and those holes in the back to cover them up. That way the clay can sit. I don't have to worry about poking through. And then you cover it with different types of clay. I'm using medium Sculpting clay, and you put the flesh over it, and then this will be our base for how I put scales on. I hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial. I plan on doing way more in the future, so stay tuned for that.